Today we are going to listen a story about possession of a ghost. And it has been said that this story is based on true incident and place. So sit back and relax because this is going to give you chills and work as nightmare fuel. The old house had always been a source of curiosity for the townspeople. It was a dilapidated structure, with paint peeling off the walls and windows boarded up. The rumors that circulated about the place were even more intriguing. It was said that the house was haunted by a malevolent spirit, who had claimed the lives of many who dared to enter. But for a group of teenagers, the rumors were only an invitation to explore. They made their way to the house one evening, armed with flashlights and a sense of adventure. They crept inside, tiptoeing through the debris and dust that had accumulated over the years. At first, it seemed like any other abandoned house, dark, eerie, but ultimately harmless. But as they ventured deeper, they began to feel a chill that ran down their spines. The air grew thick, heavy, and suffocating. And then they heard it. A faint whisper that echoed through the halls, calling out to them. The teenagers tried to flee, but they found themselves trapped within the walls of the old house. Doors that had been unlocked moments before now refused to budge. Windows that had been boarded up were now shattered, allowing in a cold wind that made them shiver. And then, one by one, the teenagers began to change. At first, it was small things, a flicker of the eyes, a twitch of the fingers. But soon, they were consumed by a darkness that seemed to have a life of its own. They spoke in tongues, their voices twisted and distorted by an otherworldly force. They moved in ways that defied human limitations, their limbs contorting into unnatural shapes. It was as if they had been possessed by something beyond this world, something that had claimed the house as its own. For days, the teenagers were held captive within the walls of the old house. They were visited by a ghostly presence, who taunted them with visions of their darkest fears. It was said that the spirit had once been a woman who had been wronged in life, and was now seeking revenge upon the living. But for the teenagers, the truth was far more terrifying. They were being possessed, their bodies and minds consumed by the spirit that had claimed the house. They tried to resist, to fight against the darkness that threatened to overwhelm them, but it was a losing battle. One by one, they succumbed to the spirit's will. But there was one teenager who refused to give up. Her name was Sarah, and she had always been something of a skeptic. She didn't believe in ghosts or spirits, and was convinced that there was a logical explanation for everything that was happening. As the days wore on, Sarah watched as her friends were consumed by the darkness. She saw the fear in their eyes, the desperation that gnawed at their souls. But she refused to give in to the terror that threatened to claim her too. One night, when the spirit visited her, Sarah stood her ground. She refused to be possessed, to be consumed by the darkness. And to her surprise, the spirit seemed to falter, its grip on her loosening. Sarah realized that the spirit was powerless without her fear. Slowly, steadily, Sarah began to fight back. She reached deep within herself, tapping into a source of strength that she never knew she had. And with each passing day, she pushed back against the darkness that threatened to claim her. In the end, it was Sarah who emerged from the old house, alone but victorious. She had overcome the possession, the darkness, the fear. And as she looked back at the old house, she knew that she had faced something that few ever did, the darkness that lurked within us all.